Hi, everyone. I'm Michael. I'm head of UX and design at the Independent Media. And it's nice to be here tonight. If you want to find me, you can scan the code, but there's another one at the end, so don't worry, and I'll be about. So to give you some context of the scale of independent media, we reach 650 million users every month with over 1 billion content views across all platforms. And of some, I forgot this one. Which button? Okay. There we go. So there are some of our brands that we have, and we're going to be focusing on the Independent tonight, which is kind of our core brand. And for the Independent alone, that's over 18 million page views, and we have 26 million in the US, which results in 2.1 billion page views in the last year. So when you're operating at this kind of scale, a single hard-coded bug doesn't just break a page, it impacts millions of users. So we obviously try and avoid that as much as possible. So Dot wasn't built by a massive dedicated team. It was a passion project by designers and devs to fix hard-coded styles and duplicate code. By the time we hit our stride over the last year, we realized we couldn't just patch the old system. That's what led us to the massive refactor this year, moving away from fragile overrides and into slot-based architecture that we have today. So we started tokenizing in 2024, designing 4 distinct thematic modes. The Independent building inside .ds, our design system. So we have standard light and dark modes alongside specialized editorial modes, white on black, which we call WOB, and black on white, which we call BAO. To keep the code base lean, we've built this using deferring. If a theme's color matches the base, it automatically inherits it, immediately wiping out clusters of duplicate code. So typography tokens were a recent addition for us, started earlier this year. We have a lot of ad hoc legacy tokens, which are sitting alongside official tokens. We did that because we weren't quite ready to touch type when we did color. So we just told the devs to make up a token. As long as it's tokenized, fine. And then that means we could then tackle it later. You don't end up with a load of bad styles in there. So we're still swapping them out. As you can imagine, the Independent is quite a words-based business. So there's a lot of type on the site. And designers have made decisions over the years just by going, oh, I fancy that size or this size. And then that means that you've got lots of inconsistency, which we're trying to now iron out. However, tokenizing text and color was only half the battle. We still had a fragile structure. To give you an example of what we're up against, back in 2023, we rushed out a premium badging redesign. We had kind of like a month to get that out. And because of those tight deadlines, only those layout styles were totally hard-coded. We literally patched on top of what we already had. Sorry. Bear with me, I'm out of sync, I think. No, I'm not. So the hero card, which promotes our biggest stories, the main points of differences we did at the time were a larger headline. We had an author name kind of up in the top left-hand corner in what we call a chip. And that was a manual override at the time. So editors would, to swap out the voices which would come in as standard, they would swap in the name. We had themed gradients, so we introduced the teal gradient. And the most important thing was the premium badge in the bottom right-hand corner. And that was to tell users from the first off that that was a premium piece of content. So our base card was our main story card. On this one, we flipped the image to make room for the premium badges in the bottom corner. And we kind of sort of tightened up a bit of padding so that the card was smaller, so it'd take up less room on the page. The content card, which was the simplified story card. Later, when we experimented with imageless content cards, the click-through rates plummeted. We learned that design choices have direct editorial impacts, although it was editorial at the time, but told us to remove the pictures. We couldn't at this time A/B test easily. So this refactor that we're about to embark on will make this possible. Editors then started actively avoiding these components because they didn't perform. And that meant that you ended up with stories that they didn't think would do well. They dumped in those slots, which then probably made people not click on them even more. But because the code was so rigid, we couldn't pivot quickly. The exact friction was one of the reasons why we did this new card refactor. We then noticed that bugs kept appearing on site after we released new features, which required constant maintenance. So as you can see highlighted on this screen, the yellow boxes on the slide were the legacy code base fighting the new tokens, causing color leakage, assets dropping off the page. And we realized we just couldn't patch the code. It was just every kind of sprint, there were these little bug tickets going in. So that leads us on to the design brief back in 2025. I would like to say we didn't spend an entire year working on this project. It was paused and then paused again while priorities were rechanged. And we had one editor brief this in, and she since left, and we had a new editor start when we launched it. So it was a lot going on. So this feature had already existed on the independent app. It had been there for a couple of years. The main difference was we had headshots to distinguish between comment and normal news pieces. And the editor wanted this on the website itself. We have some impressive journalists at The Independent and some famous individuals who write for us, and they're recognized by their faces, so it helps uplift this type of content. So that brings us to today. So in earlier, probably a few months ago, actually, we started refactoring these cards. And to future-proof the engineering and support multi-brand scaling, we've since built a MasterCard component. It uses rigid slots for flexibility. Without being fragile, it cleanly separates the parent architecture from the children cards. And I'd like to say this version here was predominantly built for the developers. We've got versions in Figma which do it, but we have to break it down into multiple cards. But this version will power all the cards across the site and eventually future sites. So when we looked at our desktop hero cards, we discovered kind of a gradient issue that was clipping images and obscuring critical content. Gradients were used predominantly due to a fixed height limitation, which were no longer required. So, and it's easy to look at mobile first data and deprioritize desktop. But as a major publisher like The Independent, desktop is our brand credibility layer. When other global news organizations run stories about our coverage, they will screen grabs of the desktop homepage, and then this is all over those news channels. So fixing this wasn't just an aesthetic cleanup, it was about our brand authority in the wider media landscape. Right, so this is a good example of what was happening. Important image context is missing on the story card. You can see that's got the big yellow box next to it. So after discussing with the editorial team, we quickly realized that nobody liked the gradients. Design hadn't liked them for a while, but we kept trying to make them work. But editorial, after about 10-minute conversation, just said, oh, get rid of them. So we got rid of them. And then, as you can see here, the context is restored. So the card's a little bit taller. That's the payoff for this. But you immediately see that the context in that image, it was a war zone image. Whereas before, it just looked like a beautiful church that was kind of been hidden. We also feel as a design team that removing the gradients has made these components fresher, more modern, and a much cleaner system. It also frees up opportunities for these cards later, but when we get to them. So we have free child cards using slots to power our home and section pages. Our hero card kind of uses the WOB theme and has slots within it. And ideally, we would use one piece of work per slot. But as things develop, we might end up putting multiple things in one slot. As you can see, there's subtle changes to the card overall. So we've got tighter padding on chips. There's no gradient, which was the big win on this one, and consistent spacing. As you can see, it's a lot of work to get something that looks almost identical. However, it's now consistent throughout, and we've got the opportunity to expand this. So our base card structure, very similar to the hero card, except for it uses the light theme, so it's white, and it has very similar slots. The main difference on this one is we have two what they called action slots. So we have one on the left and one on the right. The one on the left powers brand bulletin cards, and the one on the right powers indie cards. And the capability is there for both options. And as you can see, just consistent spacing now, very little change. Like the naked eye and our users probably won't notice, but as an overall kind of when you see the whole thing together, it all kind of matches nicely. And our content card, which is the base card minus the image slot, basically, and has all the same slots available. The main difference on this was we bought the live chip, which was floating in the bottom corner, up into the bottom slot. The main reason for that was is it stopped headlines crashing into it, which was annoying. So that brings us on to the core design system architecture, which operates across 4 layers. We have the archetype, which is .ds, our design system. We have our brands, which is the independent and bulletin currently. And then we have themes, which power those brands, and suites, which I'll come on to shortly. This shows our current architecture. We currently have 3 suites highlighted in yellow. We've got the bulletin suite, the premium suite, and the voices suite. And we have then now kind of our base area, all of the independent themes and the bulletin themes. And if you think of the archetype as the master storybook library, it dictates the pure structural components. Brands like the independent and bulletin ingest that structure and apply their theme identity. This brings us to the most novel part of the architecture, suites. So if you look at this code graph of the theme composition, you'll see how we've isolated functional elements. Instead of duplicating structural logic across the independent and bulletin, we bundle shared elements like badges, quote marks into independent suites. Engineers write individual brand theme that just injects the brand particular style tokens. It gives us a total component installation and guarantees 0 layout shifts when actually switching themes. As you see, not much code has done that, which is quite clever, I think, as a designer, but I'll leave it to you guys. And then you can see here the presentational elements working in action within Dot. If a theme doesn't have a presentational element, it shows as not configured. And different themes can utilize these presentational elements. So we've done all that work, right? And now we can finally implement the voices cards, which was the original brief given to us back in 2025. And as you can see, the final cards here. So this is our base card. The voices version, the point of difference is the headshot. The background is powered by the theme, which means the picture desk can cut the person out. And if that sits in premium or climate, the background color will change automatically. The author name shows in our kind of tag space. And that is now powered automatically, so there's no more editorial overrides, which cleans up their workflow. The Voices theme uses a new color scheme, which is kind of a coral rather than the hard red of the independent brand to soften it. And we use presentational elements from Voices, which in this case is the quote marks. The premium Voices version, which uses presentational elements from Voices and the premium themes. So from Voices, it powers the quote marks, and the premium suites power the badging. The hero card doesn't have headshots, and that was an editorial decision because they felt that they wanted to add pace across the page, but it does still power the quote marks that appear and all the color scheme. And our content card, where the biggest win is for this, now has an author image built into it, alongside presentational elements from Voices and premium themes. We hope for a higher click-through rate. We'll test this over the coming weeks because this released a few weeks ago. And then because we're a news publisher, we have millions of people visiting the site. It won't take long to gather that data, and then we can iterate if we need to. But hopefully now, the editors will have more faith in these cards and they'll start using them for these particular stories. So this was the final day, which coincided with the Makerfield by-election. And as you can see, editorial were already using these new styles right at the top of the homepage, which is kind of a nice validation that they like the cards. And we're hopeful that they're going to start using them more. And this was the ultimate payoff of the project. So we successfully deleted 3,076 lines of legacy code. What we have now isn't just prettier UI, it's highly performant, scalable, and a resilient system that's already primed for up and coming projects. So looking to the future, .ds is powering the Independent and Bulletin now. We're laying the foundations for the future of standardization of the Standard and Indie 100, which are brands that we manage, using the .ds design system. So a little thank you to my fellow design team, Nick and Meggie. I'll just say that there's the three of us in the product design team. So, and we've kind of tackled this with our developers. So if you're looking to build a design system, you don't need a huge team to do it. You don't need a dedicated team to do it. Just crack on. Our product and dev team on this particular project was Vicky, Jess, JJ, and Jay, most of which are here today. So come and say hello to us afterwards. Thank you very much. It was nice to talk to you tonight.